Hi friends, in today's video we are going to talk all things Clubhouse. This is the second video. If you missed that first video, I'll put a link here, but first, before you go to that video, finish watching this one. And I said in the first video kind of why it is that I like Clubhouse, and it probably goes it would seem counterintuitive going against this simple method or simplicity, but today I'm going to share with you. Earlier this morning we went on Clubhouse, and those of you who have an iPhone and you have the app available, please come join us each and every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time and join us. It's a good 30-minute powwow where we give simple tips, simple tricks, but also around all things for entrepreneurs, but also how it works even in our life, right? And some of these things that we just really all, need that support in. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you the actual conversation so you can get a feel for what it's like. And if you enjoy content that helps you keep your life simple and also your business while giving you those tricks and building your faith, hey, friend, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button and stay here. And on that note, please comment below. Tell me what it is that is giving you a lot of trouble. In today's Clubhouse, we specifically talked about clutter and how our office space and also email. And we gave two simple things that we all can focus on. And we're going to revisit next Thursday and find out how you guys did. And so let's get on to the audio, and please share below what you liked about today's video. I will start by first, saying hello and welcome. I am actually recording the little blip so we can share it with our community. But I wanted to share that it is like raining. So if it gets really noisy, like it's now, I hear thunder and lightning. It's pretty crazy. It's coming down. But I am receiving some cleansing for all of us and whoever joins, even in the replay, that cleansing on all levels.
I love that. I'm open to receive that. Absolutely. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys, I know we're going to be talking about lots of different stuff over this, on a spa for the entrepreneur's soul. But today we're going to be talking about some simplification, and who doesn't love that? Because, you ladies, along with myself, were working through, some of the simplification, elimination, delegation, automation. And this is not even just for business, right? Like I'm thinking about for me, and whether it's being a mom or even my personal role in my own life, like getting my, exercise under a plan or whatever. But it speared today even a conversation this morning, speared kind of even a thought about it, and it was with you, Megan. Do you want to share what you were kind of talking about with your office? Talk about put you on the spot, right? Because you're like, wait a minute, you didn't tell me this.
It's absolutely okay, mainly because I'm right in the space of it, the energy of it. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs, especially those that are wearing so many different hats, yes, wife and mom and entrepreneur. And so it's like when you have all these different things that are being pulled, sometimes it can make it really difficult to spend the time that you need to organize your business. You've helped me along the way. You've given me some great insight on how to best do that when certain like little flare-ups have happened. And yet today I feel like I have to do a total reorganization, because my art room, my creative space, my creation haven, as I call it, it is my everything. It's my business office. It's, doing the numbers, and it's being in that incredible sacred creative space. And even where sessions happen, Zoom wise or on the phone. So it holds a lot of different energy anyway, and it really turns into just a catch-all for everything that's left over. Because, oh wait, I now have to go do, the day job for a few hours. Oh, and now I still have to like cook and clean the house because, I play that wife role as well. And Nancy, I'm sure you can also jump in with the different roles that you play within your own relationship and your own organization. It can be incredibly difficult to have your business space in your home, yet at the same time, it makes it super convenient, right? And super awesome because at any time you can then jump into that space and do what needs to be done, whether it's pay bills, make a video, or connect with a client. And I woke up today and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really need to redo this entire space. And it was both exciting and overwhelming. So that's where I am.
I totally feel you on that one. But also I feel like I downplay the stresses of, obviously like you're still the wife, and for me, because I would love to have my own separate room to, do videos, and like, now with COVID and like with husband working from home, conference calls, and like, I have to be quiet or I can't go in the background. And it's just like, oh my God. I'm like, when are you gonna go back to your office? Like,
you're driving me crazy. I love you.
Yeah, like crazy. Serious. But funny enough, I ended up buying like almost like a backdrop, like that I can move, like a portable one, to just separate like the little desk and that I have in the corner, and like seeing him, because it's so easy to snap out of, oh, I gotta run really quick and do the dishes, and then I sit back down, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, the laundry, like it's so. And once I set the backdrop up, it's like, oh, work time,
right?
And it's easier for me to stay in the thing. But I totally get it.
Well, and I love how simple that is. I mean, I think of how many people, not necessarily listening with us live right now, but listening to a replay, can go, oh my gosh, I can do that with ease. That wasn't over the top expensive. It's not cumbersome where like you now need a hauler to move heavy furniture, right? Like it doesn't, it's relatively simple. And I to complete that can be a little overwhelming. Like I'm a bit overwhelmed today, but once it's done, the ease, the flow, the room. And we talk about creating that energy space all the time. So why not look at, our home workspace in that same way?
Yeah, so awesome. And I love everything that you guys are saying because, Nancy, I totally resonate with also what you're saying about, the backdrop and having to move around. My story when we moved to Texas, we moved to an apartment. I hadn't been in an apartment for years. And that was a challenge just on its own. But I will tell you now, just like you, Megan, I do have my office, but it feels so small because if I get in and I, let's just say record a video and I want to have a backdrop, like I have all these incredible backdrops, but I'm going to be honest, it's so hard. It's not just a little portable one. I probably should have made one like that, but the ones that I got, it takes up some room and then you put in the lighting and stuff and it's like, oh yeah, this is just not happening. So then it can feel, kind of cluttered. And actually, I have been looking for some office space mostly, and I guess this is also a really good topic, but about, just having your own space. And I know like we're not always all there, right? And it's where you're at, right? Like it doesn't matter if you're in business or even in life, if you're really wanting to buy your own home, it's fine. It's having that vision and knowing. But in the same sense, for me, it's about putting that out just as that bird feeder. This week, we've been talking about our bird feeder, and you guys won't go on that rabbit hole. But for those of you who are curious, like we talked about it in the HAPS session this week in the happy universe. But going back to that, it's like putting that bird feeder out to the world, saying, yes, I'm ready. Like us bosses have said, yes, we are ready. But some of this, I think it's just having support with other sisters going, you know what, girl, I'm I'm having a difficult time in this area as well. Megan, you mentioned that, it's just like you could have like stacks of stuff. And I totally resonate with that because I was also sharing with her that I want to bring into this conversation. And I don't know, maybe Nancy, I don't know, maybe you have your own system. Isn't it interesting? We all have our own little things. And when we can lean into those, sometimes they're awesome nuggets. But like, for me, I do have little piles, like two of them specifically, one for my husband, one for my son, that it's like I want to do and I don't want them getting hidden. So I'll have them like, for instance, things like recently he's gotten some certifications. They need to go actually, in frames or folders and getting filed or laminated. So there's some of that. And then like my son, oh my gosh, like schoolwork, report cards that need to be filed, that honestly, it doesn't take that long, but it's carving that time aside. But just like you were saying, Megan, just something where you can put it so that when you do have time to kind of sort or go through it, you can do that.
Right. And I think that's the main thing that I really recognize today. I have a beautiful table that's supposed to be open and clear. So as my own creative inspiration or a custom request comes in essence, that space is open and available to start right then and there. And it ends up being the catch-all, and kind of like you're saying, but I think you sound a little more designated than I do. It's like I've got the mail on one corner, then I've got gift ideas on another spot, then I've got a couple stacks of gem containers because I want to make a crown, and then I have this, the books on the gems over here. Like, just even to have a designated spot where it can all go, but yet it's easier accessible. So when I am in that creative space, it's like, oh, this goes here. I pull it out, I put it away, and then this stays free and open. It was really amazing. Just like, it's a subtle shift, but it can be an incredible game changer for me. Just knowing, oh, I've got this, and I bought some drawers and things where it's like, this little tray can be for all the mail. It doesn't have to be a pretty stack. It just has its own little drawer. So then on Sunday nights when I go through the mail or whatever day that is, I can open that up, pull that out, deal with it, and then also put it back. And it was like, wow, what an easy concept. And it's not like we're reinventing anything major here. It's just the simple act of recognizing the need for it, the call for it, doing something about it, and I'm already excited to see what's going to happen once I finish this project, which is hopefully today, and see what happens even this weekend. What will I be able to create now that I've made this space?
Oh my gosh, Megan, I'm like, yes. I have gotten obsessed with watching shows where they do like spaces and they like completely make it look like, especially because so many people are working from home,
right,
where it looks just like a regular old room, chair, computer, nothing. And like, obviously like the interior designer makes it look like phenomenal in it, not like crazy luxurious, but just that the essence of who the person is.
Right.
And it just, I'm like, oh, like I literally, there's times where I'm like, I watch it like episode after episode because it inspires me, but it also, I'm like, oh, I cannot wait until that day that I can step into a room and that is my like work room.
Right.
And just thinking of like everything because honestly, at the end of the day, it does affect your mood, your motivation, your inspiration. Like it just doesn't sit well. And the reason I say this, because at the beginning of COVID, I didn't even have a desk. I didn't have anything set up. And so I was working from the bed in the bedroom, like with the laptop. And then, my husband from the living room. And it started getting to the point where after a few weeks, when it was time to go to sleep, my mind had messed me up because I couldn't go to sleep. It was like my mind said, wait, this is our workspace. Like, we don't sleep here.
Right.
And it really, like, I was like, wait a minute, this is not working. Like, now this is like my workspace and I cannot not sleep. So I started like going to the living room then to sleep, just because it was that crazy that I couldn't sleep. Like, my mind was still like if it was on. And that's when we had to go by, you know, the desk, and we had to find some space and like just kind of like set it up. But I totally understand it, because it does impact the flow of creativity and like the flow of whatever it is that you want.
Well, and I think too, it's that aspect of self-honoring. You know, you're honoring your needs. You're honoring even the needs of your clients when you're creating that appropriate space for things to work with you. You need rest. I'm not saying no one can ever work from their bedroom. I think, you know, that's the laptop lifestyle that many of us are drawn to. I can be anywhere I want, beachside, you know, bedside, whatever. And there is beauty in that. But when it really comes to creating that sacred space that was influencing your sleep, I mean, I love that you share that, because that can be so overlooked, you know, because like, hey, I just need to find where I need to go. And hey, look, I'm doing this and I am productive. And look at me, I'm awesome. But there needs to be a balance. There needs to be those boundaries. So I'm really, you know, sorry you had to go through that and then even sleep in the living room, but you saw it and then you did something about it. And, you know, how cool is that? So I really think, it's not about a major overhaul, or, you know, if some people do want that brick and mortar out of the house office space, that can be wonderful too. You know, so it's not like, oh, we're just trying to figure out how you can work from home, but it's that act of really listening, that self-honoring process. So I'm really happy about that for you.
Yeah, it was definitely something that needed to, but you know, that's the part where you really start thinking about how much it impacts your, you know, your routine and your mindset when you're like, you know, I had to like lay my back on the wall, and you know, like, it was just like, what am I doing? I feel like I'm in like a college dorm again.
Right.
And it like, honestly, it was like, I feel like I'm doing homework. Like, it just didn't feel like, I didn't feel like that businesswoman. Like, I was like, Lord, I don't know what this is, and I don't know what you're trying to teach me. I'm humble. I don't know what. I was there like, I cannot live like this.
I get it. This isn't working. What am I not doing?
Yeah.
Show me. Right. Yeah. It's like, okay, this, again, with the laptop lifestyle can be, you know, phenomenal and fantastic, but you're like, I'm not feeling like the empowered businesswoman I strive to be.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Well, you know, I absolutely love what you're saying. Both of you. Something that popped in my mind, because I actually want to give some actionable things that they can take away this week. And you know what? Something that was hitting me that I've heard my husband say, and actually now my son's coach also says it. They're like very, and this is baseball specific for my son's coach, and Ahmad, my husband, like when he was playing football, he said, if you don't look good and feel good, it reflects in the way that you play the game. And he said, look good, feel good, play good. That's the team's kind of motto is look good, feel good, play good. That's why they have matching everything. They go, and it's an energetic thing, right? Even though they're 9 years old, they come on, you know, the field and everyone matches. It shows that they're serious. And, you know, for me,
Right.
it's not just like you're saying, Megan, it doesn't have to be this huge overhaul, but if we put into perspective, even that mindset, like I know when I went to my corporate position, you know, you have your office space, you have like you play the role, right? Sometimes when we're entrepreneurs, we don't as much carry that over. But it's not that we haven't wanted to, but it's almost, it reminds me of parenting or marriage, right? No one gives you a handbook and says, well, if you follow this, like, here's your ideal, right? Yeah. So here's what I'm thinking, and I'm going to do an inside and outside for our listeners today. And also something that I'm actually, because it was technically speaking on my agenda for creating a YouTube video, because I've had a couple people asking about it. And so I'm weaving it in for my bosses out there going, oh, wow, that would be a good idea to do that. To do things a lot more simple. And when you're even creating content, how you can multi-purpose it. But I say simplification also happens when we look at it like, how can we simplify? Because we're going to talk about simplify today, obviously, because whenever it's my turn to talk, which we're all going to kind of share topics of what our passion is, and what we do in this world. But simplification, automation, delegation, and elimination, and how we can do those things. And actually, when we clear the clutter and clear the junk or the crap or the things that no longer serve us, we actually have more space for the things that we do love, because then all of those emotions that we're feeling frumpy, frustrated, out of whack, whatever, that tends to go with the clutter. So what I want to talk about, and then each one I'll pass to you guys because we have about 8 more minutes before we end. And that is, so I'm going to talk about the inner is, going to align with what I'm talking about with the outer. So the first thing, I'm going to give 2. One of them is our office space, right? Like our office space. So this week, if it feels right for you guys and anyone listening, to look at one thing. Like I'm focusing this year, and I'm also working with the bosses on the power of one. What one simple thing can have the biggest impact. And this is not just for business. This is also in our diet, in our eating, with our kids, with our husband, with our spouse. Like if we were to not feel like we have to be these super women, because we already are, by the way, but we can just focus on that one thing, right? So what is the one thing in our office? And we all, if you feel aligned, or even Nancy, like in your space, what is the one thing that every time you see it, you go, oh my gosh, I wish I would just do that. And we make kind of like a beautiful goal for ourselves to accomplish that. So that's number 1. And then I'll go to number 2, then I'll pass it to one of you guys on what you think, or just share with what you want on what I'm sharing. The second thing, so I'm looking at it from a kind of a business perspective, but still, it's that one thing in our office or our room or our kitchen or that in anything in our house. And then the second thing is the email. Okay. How many times do you just say, I want to clear it? Because honestly, my goal is to clear it every single day. I have not made that goal yet. Now, and I want to pass it to one of you guys to share what your thoughts are on both of those.
Oh, those are some good questions. I was like, dang, Jena, why did you do that? Now I'm going to be held accountable. No, number 1, as soon as you said the first one, is on my desk. When I get an inspiration, I have to write it down. Like actually grab a sticky note and write it down. I'm like, ooh, that would be a great video to do. Or, oh God, that is a great topic. And I have about 200 just piled up in the drawers, and it drives me nuts, but I just shove it all in one area, and I'm like, I'll get to it. I'll organize it at some point. So I definitely, for me, I was like, ooh, that's the one that I'm going to be focusing in on, is organizing all of the content that I have inspiration from, like on one Excel sheet, and just put it all there so that I don't have all these little like stickies laying around. So I'm definitely going to be doing that for myself, and it's actually for business as well. I mean, you said the email. I will definitely have to do that, is cleaning it up. Once I just, even though I've already opened everything, but I have, like, let's just say 500 emails that I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And I haven't put them into like the folders, the proper folders. So that's going to be those two things. I'm like, yep, I'm going to be working on that. Thanks for the reminder.
Awesome.
I agree. I think, I've already kind of set the stage for my these drawers, and I got one thing that was kind of like they're like 6 cubby holes, so they kind of have that appeal for a little decor, make it where it looks a little pretty, but then you can also use those, they're almost like cloth drawers that hide other things in there, and that was more the aesthetically pleasing component. And then the other one is truly like a 10 or 12 drawer system that just has trays, and that's kind of to hold my clutter, but designating, like, this is where all my pens go. I have pens and pencils all over the place because I'm always going to grab a pen. And Nancy, like you said, the idea is Post-it notes. Top drawer can be Post-it notes and pens, just, so I know where that is, instead of them all like strewn out over all my surfaces here. So that's definitely kind of what I had planned to move forward on today already. But G, you brought up a great point, because I don't know of anybody that could honestly say, oh yeah, I'm totally on top of my emails, like at any given moment. Like developing that kind of great practice of the first 15 minutes of your day, just going through however many you can to unsubscribe, to put in a folder, to create the folders. Eventually you'll get through it all, and then it becomes that beautiful habit. So you then can say, oh yeah, I'm totally on top of my emails. I've got that incredibly organized. I would imagine so many people, men and women, will resonate with that even more so than just creating a clear and uncluttered office space, because our emails follow us wherever we go. We have them on our phone. So as soon as you open one thing, it's like, oh my gosh, that's still there. Those 500, 5,000 emails, whatever the case it might be. I've heard some really scary stories of people that have like never cleaned out their email, and they have like 30,000 emails. Oh
my gosh.
I'm happy to say I
couldn't do it.
One of those, thankfully. But I definitely have, especially because we have so many different email accounts. But that's with you everywhere you go. You throw your phone in your purse, it's in your purse. All that clutter, that congestion, you put your phone in your pocket, it's in your pocket. So I think, gee, that's really like, wow, let's put some extra stars next to that one as a priority for sure.
Awesome. And I hope that, even just the people listening to the replay will get some nuggets on what our conversation's been about. I'm really looking forward to, also in the future, if you guys are wanting to listen and follow in. I don't know about you guys. Did you guys get that update that said that now anyone can join as long as there's an invite? So I tried to invite a couple of Android users and still couldn't. So I'm going to research that, but my phone updated and it actually said that for Clubhouse, which, if that's the case, bravo Clubhouse. I'm super excited about that, because I'm also excited about how we're going to lean into this room each and every week to really just help a sister out, right? And if a brother if a bro wants to come on, no shame. Like we'll definitely open arms. Well, you guys have anything you want to say before we say goodbye?
Other than just appreciating this space so much, to be able to come together, have these fun conversations about things that can often be quite overwhelming, and then finding inspiration. I think our next call next week is going to be, okay, did you do what you said you were going to do?
Yeah.
And don't have to go into it. Just like, yep, I did on emails. No, I did on the office, or yep, or no. Don't need to know my answer. But that'll help with the accountability. I think that's phenomenal. And then we'll have another beautiful conversation around something else.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Yes. The final thing for all, well, not for the men, but definitely for the women, is also your purses. Cleaning out your purses.
Yeah.
Oh my
Purge the
gosh.
purse.
Purge the purse.
Oh,
Yes.
Nancy, you
Yes,
just
yes,
busted
yes.
me. You just busted me. Okay, girlfriend. You know what we should
Yes.
all do? We should take a picture. Oh, that would be embarrassing. Why am I even saying that? Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a definite. Yeah, I
Doing
get this visual that, I unzip and it's like,
Yep. Yep. I was like, wait a minute, our purses that we carry everywhere. As you, Megan, as you said, our cell phones. I'm like,
yes.
girl, you're talking about cell phones. I'm like thinking of the purse. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. The gum is like still stuck inside. I'm like, oh my God.
Ladies, this has
Yes.
been incredible. And I know we're going to get like, this is brand new and we haven't really been promoting because we've been bossing it up, right? And it's about, taking those steps every single day. I think consistency. So, guys, I know that if you guys are there listening and you're like, okay, I feel overwhelmed with everything, even with Clubhouse, hang in there. Come hang out with us every week on Thursday mornings. We'd love to chill with you. And if you're in Dubai time, it's in the evening, but Thursday evening or morning for our US friends. But you guys, thank you, ladies. Blessings to everyone out there. We'll see you next week, okay?
All right.
Bye, guys.
All right, bye. And that's it. Super simple. I did cut out some of the fluff in between, but we did go for 30 minutes. If you want to stay with us, and those Android users, that is why I'm adding those here so that you can see what it's all about. Now, I did get an alert that there was some sort of an update, and so I'm not sure how that's all going to work, but it sounds like they're going to be opening it up very soon. So tell me what your takeaway is, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.